Hello, everyone. Welcome to the latest show here on All Angles Sports Investment. I'm Steve Wiss, and I'm with Ashley Waite. Unfortunately, Ashley's not going to be on the video tonight because there's been a few bandwidth connection issues over there in Hawaii, but she's with us loud and clear. How are you doing, Ashley?
I'm doing well. It's been a good day for you and me, and a great day for our picks on the show yesterday. So yeah, other than being out here in the middle of the Pacific with connection issues, everything's going fine.
Well, I guess that's island life for you, isn't it? It sometimes will happen like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was quite a good day. I mean, you had an excellent round in the Champions League on the show. 2 picks, 2 winners, 2 very easy winners, I must say at that. The City game and the Real Madrid game. Benzema delivered for both of us. I managed to hit the famed 4-way same game parlay, which we joked about yesterday, but it came good at plus 320. So I was delighted with that.
Yeah, that was an awesome hit. Anytime you hit a plus 320 is amazing. So yeah, great calls on all of those.
Yeah, I was really pleased with that. I tweeted a very easy card winner in running on the Twitter feed earlier at halftime in the Napoli game, but I was very disappointed with the cards bets in both those games. The Napoli Asian cards fell flat on its face, and Chelsea most cards, unfortunately, that ended 3-3 in cards. But I've not got no complaints there because I thought the referee had a brilliant game. In the Chelsea match, it was a real contrast how to referee games of football. You got the ref in the Real Madrid game, dished out 2 cards in the first 10 minutes. Basically, gave a message to the players: if you misbehave, you're getting in the book. And he had a firm control on the match. Whereas in the Napoli game, you got a referee who was letting everything go. You could have committed a murder in the first 20 minutes there, and he would have let you off.
Right.
And of course, what happens is you end up in a situation where he loses control of the game entirely. And I mean, anyone who backed Rada Krunic to be booked or to be carded in this game, you have my sympathies. I have no idea how he didn't get a card. Theo Hernandez, another one, how he avoided the book. I've not a clue. Several other Milan players, but it is what it is. It does highlight the difficulties of betting on cards and referees, but also how easy it can be, because that halftime play was so obvious. I would have been 2 or 3 units if I could have on that, but it's fraught with danger as well.
Yeah, I didn't actually see that. So now that you say, I know you were throwing a fit about that, the officiating, but I don't really know anything about cards, but even I took Hernandez to get carded. So that's
that was very, very unlucky. But I don't know how he avoided it.
Yeah, it's just he seems like one of those that always gets carded. So yeah, if he didn't get carded and deserved it, then I would say yeah, that's something off with that. Because if I'm betting someone to get carded, they get carded a lot.
Yeah, and I remember now you were telling me you also were on Koulibaly at Chelsea, and he got injured, so that was also very unfortunate.
Yeah, he came off early. He's another one. I might sprinkle Fernandez tomorrow. I'm a newbie at this cards. I don't do the deep diving like you do. So I'm just gonna look for the very, very obvious ones and sprinkle them at plus money.
Well, I do have some card plays for today. For Thursday. We're going to talk primarily about the Europa League, and we're also going to talk about one Conference League game, Lech Poznan versus Fiorentina, to be exact. But we will get through these crunch Europa League games. I'm actually going to start us off here with, I think, what is the biggest game of the day, Feyenoord against Roma. This is a repeat of the Conference League final from last summer. And this is going to be really feisty, I think, Ashley. There's away fans are not allowed in this match, and they're not allowed in Rome either, because these two teams have a bad blood history. And I think the two managers, if you could bet on a manager to get carded in this game, I would, because I think Arne Slot and Mourinho are going to be going head to head here. Arne Slot, of course, a much coveted manager. I think several Premier League teams are going to be after him in the summer. I was hoping he was going to come to Leeds, but there's better jobs available now. I think he'd probably end up with Tottenham or West Ham, Arne Slot. But for this game, I think I like over 5 Asian cards, minus 125. This is with Bet365 over here in the UK. Now, if you are taking a normal card line somewhere, make sure it's over 4.5, even if the odds are on the short side. Don't go over 5.5 because that might be asking a lot. They could easily be. We had a push on over 6 Asian cards in that Celtic game at the weekend. So make sure you're on the correct line here or the one below it. But like I say, the referee here is Spanish, which that could really lead to a lot of trouble, couldn't it? Sanchez is his name. He averages nearly 6 cards a game, and I don't think he's going to be like this Romanian ref and let things go. Actually, I think he's going to be dishing his cards significantly here in this match because both teams just hate each other. There's bad blood, and there won't just be cards for tackles here. Like there's going to be cards for dissent, things like that. Answering back at the referee, time wasting, you name it. So expect cards to flow in this game.
Maybe they hate each other enough we'll see something entertaining, like the random times when the opposing team will just pick the ball up and throw it straight into the other team's face or something. Those are always fun. Those are always fun ones.
They are fun ones. How do you see? Let's just actually talk about the match markets. How do you see this tie and match going? I think it's a really hard one to call. Feyenoord are the favourites, plus 140 first leg. Would you be betting on Feyenoord here or not?
I don't think I'm touching this match. People that follow me on Twitter know I'm a Roma fan. Less so. I'm just kind of sick of their shit. I can see Feyenoord being favored here, but it's like if I bet with Roma, then they lose. If I bet against them, they win. I can't make heads or tails of them. I could kind of see both teams scoring, but yeah, for me. I mean, no show pick for it. I'll have nothing personally and nothing Patreon. I mailed my Roma ball for free. I posted on Twitter. Anyone who will pay shipping and handling can have this ball. I am so sick of Roma shit. And a guy in Wisconsin, I think it was, ended up getting it. Yeah. So that ball, I got that the hell out of Hawaii. So good luck to anyone on this match. I think it'll be entertaining, and I hope there are fireworks for your sake with the cards bet, but nothing of value that I can add to this one.
Yeah, Jose Maria Sanchez. I actually watched him referee a game recently. Funny enough, it was Armenia against Turkey, which was obviously a very high-profile clash. For some reason, UEFA seem to love giving this referee really big, high-profile games, but he keeps dishing tons of cards in them. So, but maybe that's a good thing. Maybe, like I said tonight, you've got to let the players know who's boss, right? So, I don't think he's going to let much go. Hopefully, these are in by half-time.
If it goes in any way of you're saying with the way these teams hate each other, then hopefully they start flying super fast like they did in Madrid today.
Definitely, indeed. So, okay, we'll move on to another game now, and that is Bayer Leverkusen against Royal Union Saint-Gilloise, which is I love that name. It rolls off the tongue. Lovely, doesn't it, Ashley? And now this sort of match is more your speciality here. I know you've got involved with both teams a lot this season. So you actually got a couple of plays. You've got a single initially and you've got a double as well. How do you see this game going here in Germany?
Well, so I'll do my single first, which is just straightforward. Over 2.75 is minus 110. I like over 2.5, obviously, but that's around the minus 130 range. So it's a little bit on the high end of juice of what I like to play. I don't think it's a bad play, but I think we get 3 goals out of this. I'm actually looking for the show. I'm just going to be playing the goals angle, nothing on either side. But personally, I'm looking to play Saint-Gilloise. They are at a +1 handicap right now. It opened at minus 125. It's been bet down to minus 105. So a lot of money coming in on Leverkusen on the -1. I'm hoping that all of the late money, and I'm thinking that it will, comes in on Leverkusen. And so I'm hoping to be able to snag a +1.5 on Gilloise. I think this is a very underrated team. I know the whole world is going to be on Leverkusen, but there's a reason the whole world is on them, and they're still only a minus 170 favorite. Sounds like a huge favorite, but it's really not. I mean, the implied odds of that is just they're not expecting, the books aren't expecting Leverkusen to blow them away here. Saint Gilloise, for anyone who's been paying attention, they at home and away when they played Union Berlin, who's another Bundesliga side, they just whipped their ass up and down. You know, there aren't many teams that put up 3 versus Union Berlin and then turn around in the next match and put up 3. So Saint Gilloise, my favorite Belgium side by far. Love betting them. Very potent offense. I think there's a good chance that they're Victor Boniface. He's worth a sprinkle for sure to score. But I think both teams contribute. I do like the both teams to score and over at plus money. But you guys know I'm always going to take the safer route and be as careful with your money as I am with mine. So I think both teams contribute. I think Leverkusen can score too. I think either of these sides is capable of scoring too. May have the total wrong read on this. I'm really the only capper that I even hear liking anything about the Saint Gilloise side, but I love them, and I think they're a bit tougher to take down than what most people realize.
Well, I watched the previous round. I think Bayer Leverkusen were against Ferencváros, I do believe, and they won 2-0 both legs. But in the first leg, they were lucky not to concede a goal at home, I thought. And then maybe Saint Gilloise will not be as wasteful with their chances. Plus 550 you can get on the visitors here to win the first leg. They might not be the worst dog in the world, at that price.
Oh, yeah. I will be playing some plays personally that I won't advise on here, but I love this Saint Gilloise team. I'll be sprinkling a goal scorer. Making a few value swings at them. Would I be surprised if Leverkusen wins? No. So maybe Leverkusen to win and both teams to score at big plus money is a nice play. But I'm just going to pull for them. So I'm going to go for goals here. And Leverkusen overall in all competitions, they're scoring 2.5 and they're conceding over 1. And Gilloise scoring right at 2 and conceding 1.7. So yeah, I think this. And at current form, too, Leverkusen, they've been scoring much better of late than they were at the beginning and middle of the season. So, yeah, I'm hoping for goals. And to me, that's the angle to take in this one.
Yeah, Victor Boniface, former Bodø Glimt man, of course, up in Norway, scored plenty of goals up there, and he's been scoring plenty of goals for this team as well. They might be, Bayer Leverkusen might not be such an easy winner as we think, as a lot of people think here. So that is your main single for the match. You've got a double for the game as well. I'll put the double on the screen now. We'll actually talk about the double a bit later because we're going to discuss Fiorentina. But your part of the double for this game is over 2 goals on the Asian line. I think you've pretty well explained why you fancy the goals in that. So we'll come back to this one when we talk about the Fiorentina game. Right. I'm going to move now to the next game. Manchester United against Sevilla, because I've got a couple of plays here that I really like. I'll start with Manchester United, minus 1.25 Asian handicap at minus 109. I think this handicap should be minus 1.5. I think it's priced up on reputation because Sevilla have won so many Europa Leagues that everyone thinks they're a massive threat. Well, they're not actually a very good team this year. For much of the season, they've been battling relegation in La Liga. They've had a lot of different managers this year, and I don't think they're going to offer too much at Old Trafford. I really don't. I know United are missing Rashford, but they've got a lot of depth to this squad. Even Weghorst might be able to snag himself a goal here. Who knows? But maybe that's asking too much, actually. But yeah, I mean, Sevilla are down there in La Liga. They're only 5 points clear of the drop zone, so they may even be thinking of La Liga a bit more as a priority. But either way, Man United, for me, are night and day the better team here. And I think they'll want to get the job done in the first leg so they can maybe rest some players in Spain. And I say this handicap I think it's a bit too low. I think it should be higher, 1.5. So I'm very happy to take Man United here. It's a bit of a boring play, isn't it, really? It's a bit too obvious. But, I don't know. Do you think United are going to win this one easily, Ashley? Am I missing something here?
You're asking the wrong person on this one because EPL teams. That's I don't know, just my least. I don't even know how to word it. I have the most trouble picking those sides correctly. Usually, unless it's Man City, right? Which I mean, they're pretty easy to get. But yeah, I would say I do like your point about Sevilla. They're not used to being as close to relegation in the Liga, so that I would assume that that's definitely more of a focal point for them than this match. Yeah, so Man United. Yet again, I'm going to ask you, what is the -1? What's the price of that?
Yeah, the -1 I think was at minus 160.
Yuck. Yeah.
So yeah, I actually did look at the -1 here. I must say, I probably would have preferred it really.
Yeah, so it sounds like the books have done a really good job of just pricing people like us out of it. Yeah, I mean, you feel confident that they win, and they're at home here, and with Sevilla probably having distractions and not wanting to be relegated because that would just be absolutely embarrassing for them. So yeah, I like it. Rashford, as on fire as he has been, might bother me a little bit pushing it past the -1, but I absolutely respect your opinion when it comes to that league. So I trust you here.
Yeah, I just hope they don't sleepwalk through the game. They occasionally can do that, but Manchester United they actually played quite well against Everton at the weekend. I thought they've had a decent enough break in days, and it feels like a good spot for them. They're generally really strong at home in this competition this season. So that's my first play on the game, and my second play on the game. This wouldn't have even been a play of mine if I hadn't looked at these La Liga card stats yesterday. But over 2.5 Sevilla cards at -120. This is a team that's picked up 86 cards domestically. They rack up so many of them that this line just looks. You could argue the line should be somewhere right sort of 3.5 for Sevilla cards. The referee is German, someone called Felix Weyer. Now, when I saw it was a German referee, I kind of got a bit worried because they're known for not particularly dishing as many cards over there. But he does average over 4 cards a game this year, which rises to 5.75 in Europe. So, I think he will be given ample opportunity by Sevilla here. I'd rather just rely on them for the cards because, Manchester United might not even get one. But a team that is just persistently fouling, persistently getting cards, and it just stood out to me like a sore thumb with a referee who won't shy away if needed. He refereed a couple of weeks ago in a German game, Köln against Gladbach. It was 0-0, 6 cards there. That'll do me. Another one of these cards bets that hopefully this one proves a bit more logical than Wednesday night.
Well, yeah, and what I do like about this, knowing as little about cards as I do, even I know that Sevilla get carded a shit ton. That's just par for the course in the league that they play in La Liga anyway. But yeah, if you're liking that -1.25 handicap, then it seems to me like you're liking Man U to win by 2 clear goals. So if you take a team that is feisty and gets frustrated easily anyway, and you have a team that starts laying it on them, then yeah, I would expect the cards to fly. If you think Man United kind of handles them here, then that definitely goes hand in hand with your cards bet.
They have actually they've behaved themselves a little bit better in Europe, Sevilla have, but I think they're at a stage now where no one's even thinking about missing the next match to suspension because they're hot favourites to get knocked out. They've got to put everything on the line. There probably isn't a next round. So they're not thinking about being cautious or anything, Sevilla here, and I think they'll be cynical. Man United do break at pace, don't they, as well on the wings? And I could see a few. I don't know who the fullbacks are for Sevilla, but they could be worth looking at to get in the book for this game because they're going to have some tricky matchups, whoever it is. And Anthony will probably play, won't he? A bag of tricks man who doesn't offer too much else sometimes, but he's a mighty annoying opponent, isn't he? He can wind players up.
You think it'll be feisty enough where is this one where you could see kind of a value bet of taking maybe a penalty to be taken?
Well, yeah, but there's enough possibly. Yeah, I think a lot depends on the Manchester United lineup, though. Let's just see if Anthony's playing, then this is the sort of game he actually should go well in. It will suit him perfectly, won't it? Against a Spanish team. So, yeah, I think you could look at penalties. You could definitely look at cards. I think Manchester United's like 3-0. I think they get the job done easily and just frustrate Sevilla. So, okay. We're going to talk about a match in the Conference League now. Lech Poznan against Fiorentina. You've got 2 picks for the game. A single and then this double that we're going to talk about now. We've done the Leverkusen side of Bayer Leverkusen against Saint-Gilloise over 2 goals Asian. In addition to Fiorentina draw no bet. And you like Fiorentina in this match in Poland, don't you?
I do. I would like them a little bit more if they were at home. There are just certain parts of the world that you have to be a little bit more cognizant of things kind of going the home team's way, right? Like Eastern Europe, just Poland, I would say, is one of those places. But I still think there's a decent shot Fiorentina win. They're minus 130, I believe, on the money line. So, yeah, I could see taking a swing at that. But we're just going to say that they don't lose here. They've actually not been doing bad in league play in Italy Serie A, but they've been doing fantastic when it comes to these European competitions. So they are Fiorentina in all competitions in the last 12. They're unbeaten, and they're on the road here. Their last 6 away matches they have won, and in the process, they've kept 5 clean sheets on the road in their last 6. So I think they're a superior team. I think there's a chance that, Lech could get a little bit of, home cooked refereeing or whatever, but it doesn't bother me here. I think that it's a great spot. I think Fiorentina is a fantastic price, around minus 115 to score twice. I think they have a very good shot of doing that, but I'm just going to say that they don't lose. And then I'm not going to beat the dead horse of the Leverkusen-Gilloise match. I think we see more than 2. So I like the 2. I think that's a safety net. And at minus 120, I think it's a very good price and just another double that I really like a lot.
You've convinced me, Ashley, because I've been betting against Lech Poznan in both of the last 2 rounds of this competition, and I've had my fingers burnt, no doubt about it. They've beaten the 2 Scandinavian teams, Bodø Glimt and Djurgården, but I've not been impressed with Lech Poznan at all. I don't think they're a good team. They're not getting through this tie. No way, in my opinion. So I'm not going to take much convincing, but you've absolutely sold it to me there.
I don't know. I don't want the responsibility of them burning you again. Like I said, Fiorentina, it's not like they're minus 250 favorites. They're only minus 130. So the books are seeing something that, they think Lech can put up a fight here, whether it's them being at home or whatever. But if you give me a team that has not lost in 12 matches and they've kept 5 clean sheets and 6 matches on the road. I mean, that's tough to do even at home. Yeah, I'll absolutely take them to not lose this match. And at minus 120, I just think that's a fantastic price.
Yeah, if Lech Poznan fuck us up here, then I need to be looking at a Polish team to support who their rivals are. I don't even really know many Polish teams. Apart from maybe
if they burn you again here, just never take them again. Just stay away from them altogether. Because some of us do have those teams, right? Like if Brøndby, that's one for me. If they're involved in a match, I don't mess with it. I don't take them. I don't fade them. I just stay the hell away from it. I have a couple of teams like that, and that might be like Poznan for you,
Yeah, we all have those sort of teams, don't we? I tend to be just persistent until I actually win a pick on a game involving some law of averages. I had that for a long time this season. I had that with Monaco, actually. And now I'm winning regularly on them. So more to do with match result rather than goal scorer. But yeah, so that's the double. You've got another play for the game. You've got a goal scorer at plus 163. Arthur Cabral, anytime for Fiorentina. I can't say I really follow Fiorentina much this year. I don't think I've ever seen one of their games at all. But this guy's treated you well, hasn't he?
Yeah, I haven't taken him too much, but when I do, he typically comes through. This is a spot that I like him in. I did take them in their last match, and he came through for me. Actually scored first. If they were at home, I would sprinkle him to score first around 5-1. But I'm just going to take him to score anytime here. This is not going to be a full unit play. Typically, with these scores, because I play them so frequently, they're usually half unit plays for me. But yeah, do I think Fiorentina? Yet again, I'm going to beat a dead horse. You guys are just going to get sick of me saying the same things, but I don't really care, because for some people it's their first time listening. When I take a goal scorer, I want to feel as though that team has the potential to score more than one goal, and I do. I think Fiorentina can put up 2 here. I don't think it's going to be any crazy score line, but I'm loving their form in these European competitions. Cabral has been playing really well in league and in these competitions, and there's just way, way, way too much value. I would price him in this specific matchup plus 115, plus 120. So, right, it's yet another one of those that I'd love to look for, where if it loses, I'm not going to be throwing things and be pissed off. I'm not going to be happy about it. But at plus 163, there's no way that I'm not swinging with Fiorentina's current form and his current form specifically. He is their focal point. So, yeah, I think if they score 2, very good chance he scores one of them.
Yeah, I'm just looking at his recent stats. He is in form, this man, no doubt about it whatsoever.
Yes.
Scored at least 1 goal in 5 of his last 8 starts. He's firing. You can, and he's also especially firing in the Conference League. He seems to love this competition, in particular. So yeah, good spot for him. Ashley here, Arthur Cabral. I've never ever seen him play. He scored a lot of goals for Basel back in the day. I'm sure you were probably betting on him any time when he was in that league. Okay, those are the 2 places that we are going to talk about before we finish. The other game in the Europa League, Juventus against Sporting, and this is where we need someone like Pedro, isn't it? Because
right.
I mean, Juventus. I saw one of Pedro's videos that he tagged us in. I think last night, but it's not this game. It's a Portuguese game at the weekend. He needs to do one for this match for Sporting Lisbon, doesn't he?
Right.
But Juventus, I never watch their games because I think them really boring.
They are.
And B, I really struggle in their games because I never much have a betting interest because they're such low scoring fixtures whenever they're involved, Juventus. And right. I don't like teams that don't score many goals. Sporting Lisbon, I've watched a lot more this year, but I find them impossible to predict. They're up and down like anything.
They are.
So I haven't got a clue what this is going to end. Have you got any thoughts about the game?
Well, I mean, just a go-to bet for me when Juve are involved is just that's made me and my Patreon folks a lot of money. Is there's 2 ways that I like betting Juventus. I like taking them the correct score group, which you can specifically find on Bovada, and it's usually around the plus 160 range. I'll take Juve to win, correct score group 1-0, 2-0, 2-1. Those are very common score lines for them. And then, I rarely bet unders, except when it comes to Juventus and Sevilla, really. Those are 2 teams that I like to bet to win and under 3.5. That's very, very common for a Juventus score line. Rarely are you going to see over 3 goals in a Juventus match. Now, am I going to be taking that here? No, just because, like you said, Sporting, they can be really, really good on their day. These Portuguese and Italian sides matching up, though, that just did not go my way. With Benfica, a really struggling Inter team just took it to them, to a really good Benfica side. So if I had to lean here, I would take the plus 0.5 on Sporting and with a double chance. But will I bet it? No, because I have no idea what to expect. So that would just be if I had to bet it, but I don't have to, so I won't.
Yeah, under 2.5 goals is as short as minus 175 in some places. So I mean that's just yuck, isn't it? That, but yeah. It may well land. I mean the go-to score for Juventus game is probably 1-0, isn't it? So
yeah, there's a 1-0, 2-0. What is Juventus on the money line?
I mean Juventus money line I think is about minus 110. Yeah, minus 111 is the best price you can get.
Minus 111. Yeah, then I would say, I may actually sit down and delve into this one a little bit more. A Juventus draw double chance in under 3.5. Yeah, but don't take anything I've said on this match and go and bet it, because it's more likely than not that I will not be touching this one.
Both teams to score is plus money, plus 116, but I don't really see that hitting here personally. Nevertheless, I'm sure it's a sort of match actually where people will be tempted in just on prices for goals. Because
I would be tempted on both teams to score. Yeah. Well, let's say I would have been if Benfica wouldn't have been such a catastrophe up against an Italian side. So yeah, I'm just going to sit back and listen to the rest of what you have to say. I have nothing on this one.
We've got a Turkish referee for this game. I don't know whether that's asking for trouble or not. He averages nearly 6 cards a game in his own league, although that does reduce to about half of that in Europe. So who knows? I haven't got a clue. I don't like it. I don't like taking refs who in their own domestic league, like Mexican league, where there's about 10 cards a game. And then when they take charge of a continental competition, they just ref normally. And it's a reduction. And this might happen with this Turkish referee, where he's almost relieved that he's not having to deal with Turkish players all the time. So, yeah, I have no intention really of getting involved in this game. Okay, well, I'll do it then, Ashley. We may or may not be back tomorrow for a preview show for Friday's games. We might have a night or a day off, but we will definitely be back on Friday evening over here in Europe to preview Saturday and Sunday's games with some of our best picks for the weekend. So thanks very much for your time, Ashley, as always, and have a great rest of your day.
Yes, you too. We'll see you guys soon.
See you around, everyone. Take care.